All right. Did you hear what happened real quick before we get to our guests? The U.S. House passed the Laken-Riley Act
Oh,
by
nice.
251 to 170. So 170 people voted against this. Every single Republican voted to pass it, and all 170 votes, John,
Oh,
against it
oh,
were Democrats.
oh.
But the proposed law would require the detention and deportation of illegal aliens who've been caught committing crimes.
One thing you correct, you misspoke. It's the Lincoln Riley Act
Oh,
with
yeah,
Joe
right. Joe
Biden.
Biden. The Lake, say your name. Well, ask yourself, why would anyone vote against this?
Right. Uh-oh.
So that's who we're dealing with. And Democrats in Illinois, they're always in charge. Well, you were a Republican
Yeah.
state rep
Yeah.
for
They are still in charge. 2 terms.
2
I was
terms,
going for my third
and then you decided
to leave.
to and leave. You went. But that brings us to our next guest. He is Chris Henning, and he is running as a Republican for the seat of the State House for the 59th District. Good morning, Mr. Henning. How are you?
Good morning, Amy.
Yes, and John Anthony is with me.
Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Hi.
Yeah, so what is this your first time running for office?
Yes, yes, it is.
All right. And why are you doing it?
The question that always follows. It was the combination, the piling on of issue after issue after issue. I can't think of what single issue triggered it, but I looked up who my township chair was and sent an email off blindly asking, I'm interested in running. I've got to at least put a voice into this situation, and it got directed around and got connected to the Illinois policy and part of their Run Illinois candidates. But the overall circumstances, when you look at the problems in the state, they're not being addressed.
All right. And what's the biggest problems that you think are facing the state and the people of Illinois right now?
The first one is a lack of fiscal sanity. We have to understand as a government, as a state, that just like any household, if you don't have the money, you can't buy it. We're spending ridiculous amounts of money. We're enacting mandates that are unfunded in directing the municipalities and other governmental entities and corporations to make these payments that just are not feasible under the structure and under what we have as revenue.
And Chris, let me paint a picture for you. Here's a question. Let's say you do go down there, you win. You're in a supermajority. There will be no legislation you get to move. A lot of people go down there and talking about reforming Illinois. Well, that can't happen with those super majorities in both chambers and the Supreme Court as well.
No, it can't. But I'm sorry.
Wait. Knowing all of that, what can you do? And what's your why? Why are you running? Knowing that there's nothing that you can potentially do at this point. Why are you running?
You got to try.
No, this is
Okay.
a very
Well,
because yes. Guess what? Because if the voters don't know why you're running, why are you running? So why are you running? What's your platform? What do you want to go to Springfield to do?
I want to have at least a voice. It's not going to change until the supermajority is broken and the Republicans get at least a voice at the table, a seat at the table. And that's going to take a lot of seats around, a lot of people getting frustrated when they look at their wallets, when they look at what they're paying for gas, what they're seeing in the educational systems. The reading and math competencies are completely unacceptable throughout the state. In my district, we're lucky enough to have Stevenson High School. Currently, the 2024 U.S. News rankings give it a 76% competency in math and 72% in reading.
And what
Not
other? Yeah.
Not as many in the city, but
Right.
you look at Wheeling. Wheeling is 26% in math and 21% in reading, and they're graduating 91% of the students. Reform needs to happen. Students need to be taught critical thinking, taught how to think, and not be taught rote memorization.
Okay.
Now, Chris, for those of us who don't know about you, just tell us about your past. So did you? I read in your bio that you served.
Yes.
Okay.
I did things backwards. I was for a short period a police officer.
Nice.
It wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel that at the time the municipality had the officers' interests at heart. And then I went into the Army. I served in the 1st Cavalry Division as a legal specialist. I got hurt in a training exercise. When I got out of the Army on a medical discharge, I used my vocational rehabilitation to get my Juris Doctorate from Boston University and returned to Illinois, where I grew up. I grew up in the northwest suburbs, Hoffman Estates and Arlington Heights. I've been a resident here at Mundelein it'll be 24 years in December. And I've seen the changes in that time. I've also spent time, I've taught business law for Columbia College of Missouri, and I've taught intro to criminal justice at the College of Lake County.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some free consulting advice. When you first
Hey,
started,
I'm always open.
when you first started off, you sounded very robotic. But when Amy had you talk about who you are, that was part of your why. You were so much more comfortable. Your conversation flowed so much better. That's the Chris that in order to win here in the state of Illinois in a democratic controlled district, that second part of Chris needs to come out more. Who you are, why are you running, what you plan to do. That Chris comes out, you have a far better chance of winning in this race. And that I'm telling you, I do this for a living. I'm telling you, people listen. The thing about today in politics, it's not about policy. You can produce policy. People want to know who you are, and there's an old saying that says, "What comes from the heart reaches the heart." That's the type of politics that's been installed and created today. What are the cultural issues? What are the cultural issues in your district? Are you tackling that? Are you coming after that? What's your early voting plan? Do you have an early voting plan? Things of that nature. Early voting is getting ready to start. When, Amy?
September 26th in the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
So it's game on in a few weeks.
Yeah. You have to be able to speak to the kitchen table issues and with that second half of Chris, that's the Chris that needs to come out.
Well, thank you about that. That's great advice and something I don't think I've heard enough.
Yeah.
As far as the assistance and getting things out, I've been working with the Lake County Republicans. The Vernon Township Republicans are very active. You've got Fremont Township is trying to grow and rebuild. Same with Libertyville Township, and working with them to advance and get name recognition, which is very hard in the current environment. Unfortunately, there seems to be a lot of voter apathy and a lot of sort of nihilism as far as the chances to elect a Republican candidate. And what you see is a number of people who say, I'm just not going to vote.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, why do we want to donate to somebody who's going to lose? But if you don't, the voices will never be heard. You will never get a dissent against the supermajority, and hopefully someday in the near future, not a supermajority. We need to get candidates
Chris,
elected.
let me help. As it relates, are you doing lives on Facebook? Because you're saying there's no help. There's a lot of free help out there. Are you doing lives every day? Are you looking at what are the top 3 issues in your district? Are you speaking to the people about that? Are you talking about that on free social media?
I'm not as good as certain candidates. I love Tasa Ufadeke's outreach. She's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really hoping her campaign can pull it through in the end.
Okay.
Um,
Not just her,
now-
Hannah for Illinois as well. Those are two. I mean, I would look at what they're doing, and they're doing great things.
I feel like I'm in a consulting
Yes, and-
session. This is
Right.
great. No, this is good. This is what it takes.
no, it's
Hey, I charge
fantastic.
for this,
And
but
we
I'm-
also have
Go ahead.
we also have a very important race in Lake County for the state's attorney with Mary Cole, who's an incredibly personable individual, knows her stuff, and again, is out there everywhere. I can't quite get out as much as them. I'd love to, but
Well, you got to
I
hit
did
it hard in
spend
the next
last
few weeks
weekend-
because early voting starts
Oh,
September
definitely.
26th.
And how
Yes.
bad do you want it?
I would like to get it very much, and it's taking a lot of work and a lot of time.
I'll give you a call.
Okay. All right, Chris Henning, where can we find more information about you and your campaign?
You can find the website is Henning 459 HENNINGFOR the number 59.com, and you can find me on Facebook at Vote Henning for 59.
Okay, great. Chris Henning, thank you so much. Henning459.com and votehenning.com. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it and good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401